Alright. So today we are going to do the interactive novel series to fit in with this Vampires of the Masquerade deal. I will be reading, short disclaimer, there's no voice acting in this, so I will be reading all of this. And bear with me, because as I start to tire out, I get a little more drawn out as I read. And we're going to do our best. But we're playing this for the lore. We definitely really like it. We know that Vampire the Masquerade 2 wasn't the best game ever in the universe. Who knows? They do have some quarterly DLC that's coming out, and I have a feeling that there's probably going to be some patchwork done and some new stuff done. Clearly, this is a universe, tabletop, whatnot, and everything else in the middle that is probably going to get expanded on because people want more. And I've always heard great things about the universe. I've been invited to tabletop sessions of this game, and I have not taken part in them. But I've always been told, like, oh no, dude, you're gonna love it. It's totally up your alley. And they were right. It's actually really good. So we're doing so we can get more of that lore. I'm a Vampire the Masquerade newbie. It's not, I don't know everything, and this is just, I'm going down the rabbit hole. So without further ado, out of all of them, I would say I'd more align with the Ventru. I know Amanda is the name. Let's go, Mary. New York taught me to believe in fate. Had you asked me about fate back when I was human, I would have told you. It's just superstitious bullshit. That we are all designers of our own destiny. That belief shattered when the richest woman in the United States, the actual richest one, not a face you could have seen in the papers, of course, sunk her teeth deep into my neck. It happened in a very same place you're standing right now. By the way, fate, you decide. Please, there's absolutely no need to be hostile. Just listen a little longer. See, my mistake was that I flew too close to the sun. It makes sense that my punishment was to never see its glow again. I was incandescent myself. I was hot shit. I had it all. Money, looks, confidence, connections, men, women, a career, and a spark in my eye. The one you need to be born with. And that's when someone far more powerful than me saw my radiance and thought, that won't do. She robbed me of the light erupting from within, and given me a subtle, enduring gleam in its place. She decided that would fit me much better. She was a ninth generation kindred, like you, an ape. She probably enjoyed teaching me the peak of human excellence, my real place in the food chain. Such an eyesore when you look at some loudmouth buggerots and see them for what they really are. The temptation to teach them a lesson can be unbearable, right? Well, my sire's lesson was a lesson about fate. A message saying you're internally doomed to be a of your sovereigns. It almost drove me to destroy myself. It wasn't me. Oh, it saved me. What saved me was the ability to reinterpret her teachings. Hers wasn't a message of doom, it was a message of hope. Fate exists, and one can shape it if given the right tools. My sire didn't believe my tools were fitting for the job. She considered them both toys, and me, just her amusing subject. Well, she's deader than dead, and I'm still here standing. Right where she stood when we first met. You might have wondered how I've learned about your arrival to JFK Airport. My answer is, of course, destiny. As luck would have it, today happened to be a day some of my associates were inspecting the coffins. Driving you here straight from the plane and having you wake up in such a unfamiliar place was a little desperate, and I do apologize for it. But it is so rare for you to visit New York. 3 times in the last 15 years, was it? And you're never eager to inform me you're here. I understand you still have that meeting on 53rd Street later tonight, so I'll provide a comfortable transport. I value our friendship very much. Don't get me wrong. But it is precisely because I value it that I'm going to ask you to repay me the favor you owe me. You're the only one I trust to do the job well, and without attracting attention. You might think I'm crazy asking you to breach the rules of our society like this. You might think it's impossible to get away with it unpunished. But this is New York, and I don't know about the other cities. But in this one, fate really exists. And right now, it's smiling in your favor. This is how it begins. Your phone rings. It's your boss again. The setting sun that filled your high-rise office an hour ago is gone. The city looks like an ocean of light from up here, spreading for miles to the north. You pick up. You were about to call it a day. Forget the world of fintech and decompress at home. No dice. One of the investors wants to meet you. His voice, as always, the perfect mix of authority and sleaze. He'll come by your office in an hour. You look at the clock. An hour. He's gotta be kidding. Yeah, I know, but sticking around, he's a heavyweight. You'll want to make a good impression. Fine. You grit your teeth a little. The boss hangs out. 2 hours. Might as well pour another cup of coffee into yourself and figure out how the best use this to your advantage. You suspect everyone knows that no, you're actually not happy with your current position. That in fact you feel squished against the glass ceiling that comes with the territory. Sure, your idiot supervisor have gotten the job only because he's the CEO's golfing buddy, but you're going to put an unholy amount of work into your advancement. Times where you'd laugh off the idea of staying at the office until 9 p.m. You had a partner to go home to, the nightly Netflix and chill ritual to perform, complete with pizza or Chinese takeout. Ever since you moved up the ladder, though, your hours have only gotten longer. Food? Mostly at the company cafeteria, sometimes takeout, always in a rush. You praise the heavens for your crazy metabolism and dread the day it finally decides to give up. Rest? At this point, the cleaning lady who takes care of your apartment probably spends more time in your bedroom than you do. You flash back to your boss quoting Shakespeare to impress his new extremely attractive and uncomfortably young secretary. For some must watch, while some must sleep. So runs the world anyway. Drinks, mostly with colleagues. They all pretty much hate you at this point. Another flashback, this time to the most profitable quarter in the company's history. Still, the board decides that layoffs were in order. Your boss didn't feel like letting people know in position. Letting people know in person, so he passed the privilege on to you. Gotta hand it to him. He always knew how to pick his battles. But maybe, just maybe, tonight is the night. It's all going to change. You decide to play the good little angle. Oh, hold on. You decide to play the good looks angle. Nothing too slutty. You leave your blouse slightly unbuttoned. Check if your ass looks good, as you remembered in your pencil skirt. Mirror says yes. That's not something you're proud of, but you've become too jaded to care. Knowing your luck, the investor is going to be one of two types. A self-obsessed Musk wannabe in his 20s, or a fat old pervert drenched in cologne. You hear the elevator ding. Time to get this show on the road. You take in a mirror and fix your hair as the footsteps echo across the empty hallway. The man who approaches your office is not what you expected. He's slick, to be sure, but he seems a bit more refined than your usual company man. Expensive suit, matching tie, a shirt, confidence in his stride, surprisingly good looking. Good evening. I hope this unforeseen visit isn't too much of an inconvenience. God, that voice, you're taken aback by how smooth and strong it is. And his eyes, still blue, cold, intense. He's all business professional. Treats you in a manner that's appropriate for your stature. When he speaks, he actually looks you in the eye and not at your cleavage. He asks some questions about your work, tells you how he noticed your input after taking in the CEO, another guy, and comes charmingly close to calling your boss an incompetent doofus. All while you try to guess his accent, but can't quite place it. European, sure, but from where? I know I keep you long enough, but would you indulge me and join me for a drink? Of course, for a minute there, it seemed like he wasn't that kind of a guy. But what the hell? You go with it. It seems nice enough. Besides, it's not like you had any other plans. The investor has a limo waiting downstairs, and the driver takes you to a high-end restaurant in Williamsburg. A seat is waiting for you in the deluxe lounge. It's just the two of you. You talk about this and that. Your companion seems to have a lack of history. So tell me, what would you do if you had full control of the company? You almost choke on your wine. This is your chance. You say what's been on your mind for months, but hide it behind a veneer of professional corporal babble. Refocusing, listening to your instincts for once. Restructuring, kicking out your boss. Aggressively pursuing a new market, getting the hell away from all these horrible people. He likes the sound of that. He leans forward, his eyes flash with intensity and something else, a strange emotion that wasn't there before. You'll do just fine. His words echo inside your head as you black out. I'm going to put on a sweatshirt. It's a little chilly. Alright. What are these? That's the log. Okay. You wake up. God only knows how much later. As you try to piece together what happened, you hear a familiar voice, the investor. Or who the hell he's talking to, or whoever the hell he's talking to, somebody. You suddenly recall snippets, fragmented memories. His sapphire eyes, intently locked with yours. His teeth suddenly longer and sharper. And something else A feeling on your neck that takes you back to your last orgasm. A company trip to Florida. A sweaty room. The cutie from HR who doesn't work there anymore. And then darkness. Yes, I'm done, yeah. Consider my debt paid. The investor pushes the other figure aside and walks away from the lounge, barely bothering to look at you. The door locks behind him. Some time passes before you find the strength to get up from the couch. You touch your lips, blood. Did that asshole hit you? You try to stand up, but your head is pounding. Your stomach is like a hot knot pulling you down. You didn't have that much to drink. He must have spiked your wine. This is bad. You frantically check your clothes. Pristine, didn't make any sense. All of a sudden, a feeling hits you like anything else you've ever felt. You fall to the floor, withering in all-encompassing pain and hunger. The kind that makes your insides burn. That can't be denied. You try to calm yourself down with breathing exercises. If they taught you some bullshit in your mindfulness courses, that's when it hits you. You're not breathing. And holy shit. Your heart should be jumping out of your chest with that realization, but it's not moving. Not even a beat. The door unlocks. You hear a startled voice. A young man in a waiter's outfit, his accent thick with an Eastern European harshness, leans over and asks if you are all right. For a brief moment, you wonder what the hell he's doing here. Everything is wrong. When his smell reaches your nostrils, it's intoxicating. Everything feels right again. He holds out his arm to help you stand up. You grab it firmly with both hands, and then you bite. You sink your teeth right next to the old school pinup tattoo of Rita Hathaway on his forearm. It takes you a moment to process what you're doing. A part of you wants to break away, but a stronger voice implores you to keep drinking. One thing becomes clear. You are definitely enjoying this. He only struggles a little and quickly falls to his knees. You can see his eyes now, pale blue, confused. You only bring yourself to let him go once he collapses on the floor. Your bite leaves a mess of his forearm. Poor Rita, all bloodied, missing half her face. Did you just drink this guy's blood? You spit out a piece of torn flesh. That's a... Why? Where? What was in that fucking wine? Barely able to focus. Your heart and your lungs still motionless. You reach your phone and dial 911. 911 operator, what's your emergency? I can't breathe. Ma'am, are you right now? Where are you right now? The door to the lounge swings open. The man who enters is not the one that brought you here, though there are similarities. He's tall, for one, broad-shouldered, handsome, dressed in immaculate suit, but his skin is darker. And the look on his face tells you he is not here to negotiate a deal. He notices the smartphone in your hand. Pass me the phone if you want to live. The man's voice is persuasive. Calm, but carrying a clear threat. He's got the aura of a visually efficient corporate shark. You find it hard to argue with him. Ma'am. Hello? I apologize for wasting your time. A new colleague got drunk and is now trying to impress everyone with her antics. Good night. He disconnects the call and places your phone in his pocket. For whatever reason, you can barely take your eyes off the stranger, as hypnotizing as his presence is, though it's also highly discomforting. Good evening, miss. I'm here to pick you up. Who are you? I'm your guide through this perilous night. The stranger approaches the waiter and examines his body. Critical condition, but he might live anyway. He then sets his sight on you. I know this is all new to you, but I've dealt with hundreds of strays like you. And going by experience, they tend to fall into two categories. First, there are smart ones who carefully obey my every word, pull off anything stupid. I always get them where they need to be, safe and sound. And then there are the dumb ones. The punks who thought they could take me on, the wise guys who tried to contact somebody, secretly and without permission, troublemakers, off or make a scene. None of them got to their destination in one piece. In fact, most of them never reached their destination at all. His voice becomes slightly bored and monotone. You can tell he's given this speech before, likely dozens of times. So you see, while I generally consider myself pretty smart, I'm also a Mets fan. It's my one true weakness. One that inspired me to come up with a 3-strike system when dealing with pups like you. If you get on my nerves once or twice, well, I understand. Not all of us perform well under stressful situations, but cross me 3 times and you're out. No excuses, no forgiveness, no mercy. As he's talking, he slowly approaches you, adding a bit of a theatrical swagger to his walk. Eventually, he leans in, deliberately invading your personal space. You realize the test. He's daring you to do something about it. 3 strikes, and you're out. Say, I understand, sir, now. Every atom in your being screams for you to obey his authority. Now's not the time to play games. I understand, sir. Stick to that tone, and you'll do just fine. Moving on, is there anyone you'd want to inform of your current situation? Tell them you're alright. He flashes his fangs briefly, and for some reason, the sight sends a chill down your spine. There is something very wrong about him. Someone closest to you? There's no one. No, I don't have anyone. The stranger squints at you. No family, no lover, no friends, nothing? A job. Your blank stare tells him the whole story. He immediately stops prying and gives you something even worse than a look of pity. A look of honest passion. Well, that makes things simpler. Well, let me be crystal clear, just in case. From this point on, you are subject to different laws than the ones you grew up under. And you'll be watched by many eyes to ensure these laws are respected. You are forbidden from letting anyone know you're still alive. You are forbidden from showing your face anywhere they know you. If anyone comes looking for you, it's over for both you and them. That practice tone again. You put on your poker face and listen in silence. So unless you want your boss to end up at the bottom of the Hudson, I suggest you cooperate. Don't tempt me. He smiles, revealing his fangs again. There's something absolutely sickening about it. Suddenly, you feel overwhelmed by a sense of exhaustion. You pass out. When you regain your senses, you find yourself in a stranger's arms. The man is holding you as you would a spouse who has had a little too much to drink. You try to break free, and he holds you close and gives you a cautioning look. Only when you cease your struggling does he let you go. Only now do you notice the change in scenery. You find yourself in a fancy lobby, right next to the elevator. The place is virtually empty, save for a single having difficulty concierge and some cleaning staff. Your compassion gestures at the concierge as you pass. And he picks up the phone. The elevator arrives, the door opens, the man motions towards the cabin. After you. Where are we going? To a safe place. That's all you need to know. Trust me, you don't want to make this difficult. You just get in. You step inside the elevator. Going against your instincts, you enter the cabin. Smooth jazz is playing over the speakers as the elevator starts to descend. You are dazed, panicky, but somehow locked in place. On the one hand, you find the stranger's presence oddly soothing. On the other, you feel your body tensing up with stress. You can't help but think back to the young waiter, the doe-eyed look on his face, the confused look he gave you just before. No. It's better not to think about it. Plus, you have other things to worry about. Like the fact that you're being kidnapped. The cabin door opens to the same garage you arrived at with your investor some hours ago. The man shows you a black Cadillac Escalade. I know what you're thinking. Getting in a car with some strange man. Boy, it sure seems like a dumb idea. Maybe I can make a run for it. I might be able to lose him. So let me be perfectly clear. Your best bet is to get in, relax, and enjoy the ride. Do you think the waiter upstairs, is he going to be alright? Yes. You look him in the eyes and can immediately tell he's lying. No more questions. Get in the car, please. Just get in the car. It seems like the worst idea ever, but the man's made it very clear that you have no choice in the matter. Are you going to hurt me? No, not tonight. At the very least. Unless you make me. He takes a glance at his expensive-looking watch. Listen, you really need to quit stalling. We're on a bit of a schedule here. The sun comes up in about 2 hours, and I don't intend to be here when it does. The sun? It doesn't matter that the sun comes up. Ah, you really don't know, do you? Good thing I got here when I did. He opens the car door and gestures towards it. You see no point in delaying the inevitable. So you get in. The door locks behind you. The Cadillac is almost entirely dark. The side windows seem light-proof. The man gets into the driver's seat, starts the engine, and drives away without another word. How am I alive? My heart, it's not beating. Aren't you in big business? What do you need a heart for, anyway? Listen, I realize you have many questions. Tomorrow you will get some answers, but tonight you need to do what I say. And right now, I need some quiet, please. You feel too confused to protest. You stay silent for the rest of the ride, even as more questions pull up from the surface. One of them being, did you actually kill someone tonight? Staring out the window, you find it hard to focus and quickly lose track of where you're heading. You can only tell you haven't left Manhattan. Another underground parking, almost featureless, empty. The car stops. The man opens the door for you. We're here. The stranger walks you to a nearby door. He opens it and motions you to get in. Go on in, make yourself comfortable. If you get hungry again, well, take a look in the fridge. I'll pick you up tomorrow and you'll get your answers. Behind the door is a small room, no windows, just a simple bed and a single light bulb hanging from the ceiling. A small fridge is humming away in the corner, accompanied by a rattling AC fan in the wall. Where are you going? I have to make some arrangements for tomorrow, of course. Look, this room is your best chance of seeing another night. I realize you've been put in a problematic situation. And it's not entirely your fault. Corporate. And you might still make it. You will learn more tomorrow. But for the time being, get in and get cozy. He gestures inside the room. Step into the room. The stranger nods. Good night. He locks the door behind you. It looks very sturdy. You open the fridge. There's a single plastic bag there, filled with red liquid, no label. Tomato soup? You feel sick to your stomach. Best to leave it for now. You lie down on the bed. It's a simple mattress on a metal frame. At least it's not too filthy. You think back to how this evening began. This investor, his friends from the dark-skinned stranger who picked you up from the restaurant. What happens now? Unable to relax. You spend an hour or so playing out various scenarios in your head. Eventually you decide to give in. A little exhaustion take over, and let exhaustion take over. Whatever tomorrow brings, you rather face it well rested. Plus, there's no way in hell your boss is going to notice your absence tomorrow. That and maybe some of the restaurant staff will feel a pang of conscience. Someone will notify the police. Someone will find you, right? You flash back to the waiter's tattoo, the bloody Rita Hathaway winking at you over a pale mess of a wound. You did this. You bit him. You drank his blood, and it tasted good. What if you could never go home again? You are so tired, your entire body your body tenses up. One last time, and before you know it, you drift away into oblivion. You wake up. That in itself is a surprise. You barely remember when you drifted off. It didn't feel quite like sleep. You're more like plummeting into an endless void. You imagine that's how death feels like. The room is unchanged. The lamp is still on. The AC is still rattling. The refrigerator is still humming. You take a look at your watch and it's almost 9 p.m. You slept for 17 hours. Maybe you died. Your breath is gone. And you feel no thumping in your chest. Does it qualify as dead if you're still conscious? You're not sure about that, but you are certain about one thing. You are hungry. It's not your stomach rumbling, though. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads to your chest, your throat, and back of your head. You open the fridge, the bag's still there. You take a closer look at it. If it's soup, then its color and texture are off. You pulled the cork out of it, take a whiff, and you recognize the smell immediately. Holy shit. There's no mistaking it. It's bagged blood. The smell is faint. You remember some situations in the past where you found it nauseating, but now it's almost... No, not almost. It's enticing. Oh yeah. Drink the blood. It feels wrong, but right now there's barely anything. Your life that doesn't... To hell with it. You pour a bit of the liquid into your mouth. Tastes like shit. It's coppery, thick, clings to your tongue, and the inside of your mouth feels like a film of dirt. You swallow it regardless. The taste is foul, but somehow you kind of want more of it. As you take a second sip, sucking the blood out of the bag, you feel something pull on your insides. You double over. You're going to barf. You instinctively cover your mouth, looking for a place to vomit. Before you find it, a dark red wave washes over your hand and your fingers. It hits the floor, spattering, and a huge thick drops. You keep heaving for a moment longer. Nothing is coming out. Not blood, not bile, not even spit. But it's something in your body that wants to push it out. Push it all out. Every last drop. As you recover, trying to wipe droplets of regurgitated blood from your dress, you hear the lock click and see the door open. Standing there, a stranger you met yesterday. Immaculate suit again. That predatory look, like a hawk on the hunt. but somehow more relaxed tonight. So like a tame talk, maybe. Good evening. How was... He notices the spatter of blood. He notices the spatter. Your red hand. Take a look on your face. He barely contains a smirk. Oh. Was the catering unable to satisfy your exquisite taste? Apologies. Offer him a drink. You can't tell me you can drink this. He takes the bag off your hand. He pours all of its contents into his mouth. He closes his eyes theatrically, savoring the taste. When he opens them a few seconds later, he looks sharper, energized. Not all of us are picky eaters. Come on. We got places to be. I should have some water and a towel in the back of the car so you can clean yourself up. The car is humming in the empty parking lot. Just outside the door of a cramped room you have spent all day in. The man motions to it, politely, but with a stern look on his face. Get inside the car. Yeah. We're just getting inside. It's not like I have a choice, right? Correct. But your cooperation is appreciated, nevertheless. You take the back seat again. The door lock, the stranger takes the wheel and starts the car. You drive in silence for a while. From time to time, you keep trying to catch glimpses of familiar streets and landmarks, through the blackened windows, but it's of little use. The car is also soundproofed, so all you can do is a bit of traffic. All you can hear is a bit of traffic humming. And the car's engine. The car doesn't say anything. Or shit. The driver doesn't say anything and seems focused on the road. You check the door handle. Yeah, the door is locked alright. This piece of dark glass separating you and the front of the car looks dirty too. There is nothing left to do but wait. You didn't have time to think it before, but you realize now that you're hungry. No, not exactly. It's not a rumbling stomach that grabs your attention. It's a need that starts somewhere in your abdomen and spreads your chest, throat, and back of your head. You become restless. This is essentially a kidnapping. Whatever this guy says about its purpose, it doesn't change the fact that you're being held against your will. And you're not used to following orders when you can't delegate them to somebody else. You feel a need to get a of control over the situation. Try to prove yourself useful. I have a worthwhile Listen, Vince, an investment advisor, and I have a lot of experience in fintech. Whatever your organization is, it might find you. I don't even have an idea what fintech is, honestly. I don't care to find out. A short pause. I'll be frank. Currently, you're in no position to offer anybody anything. The sooner you accept that, the better. Oh. Big word from somebody who's dedicated errand boy. I wonder if if you've ever achieved anything. You push the right buttons. He gives you an absolutely furious stare through the rearview mirror. For a second, you spot a crack into his professional demeanor. You don't know anything about me. You have no idea where I am coming from or where I'm headed. For a few seconds, he quietly fumes. Your attitude won't help you make any friends. And in your current position, you definitely need some. Consider that. Preferably in silence. The dull hunger strikes again. The powerlessness hurts. You are used to people listening to you, or pretending to care about your demands at least. The driver doesn't even play that game, and it annoys you to no end. It takes you another 20 or so minutes to get to your destination as the door opens. You try to get your bearings. You're still in New York. That much is certain. Queens, maybe? After me, no sudden movements, please. You approach a nice-looking building that houses a two-story gallery called the Art Hall. Two large men in suits flank the door on both sides, and they give your companion a nod as you approach. Prompted by the stranger guiding you, you walk inside. The gallery is full, which is unusual at this hour, to say the least. About 2 dozen faces fill the showroom, and a number of waiters navigate the gathering, serving drinks. All of them are beneath the guests' attention. The visitors are well dressed, for the most part, but it's unclear what they have gathered here for. Nobody seems to be particularly interested in the art pieces. No art pieces on the wall. And the atmosphere is polite, unnaturally so. Many guests turn to look at you and the stranger who brought you here. Their glances are varied. You seem open, contempt on a few faces of animated interest. On others, most of their eyes in the room calmly observe you, as if wishing to appraise your worth. This reminds you of your company meetings. You, the only woman in the room, silently judge not on her merits, but her standing on the list. Past and clandestine email threads between your male co HR found out. That is not the most experience, but it taught you resilience. When others would cower, you now straighten up. When others would turn their gaze, you meet their eyes of the gallery's guests with confidence. The woman. Good evening, Kadir, and to you, child. The noble, cold voice takes you out of your head and back into the situation at hand. The gallery, a crowd of strangers, you being brought here against your will, and for what purpose? The room awaits your response. Good evening, miss? Stranger, you are addressing the Prince of New York. Helene Panhard, child of Mikola. Thank you, my sheriff, but I am capable of introducing myself. She is somewhat plain-looking and doesn't seem to possess a great deal of charm. But still, the entire room is intently focused on her voice. She has something over these people. That much is clear. You may address me as Prince Child. I realize your introduction into unlife was abrupt, and I understand your sire left shortly after. The rules of our society dictate I punish you both for this transgression. A murmur of agreement, maybe. A murmur of arrangement? No, a murmur of agreement, maybe. Can be heard from the gathered audience, but I am willing to listen to our loyal sheriff. I am willing to listen what our loyal sheriff has to say about the circumstances of your embrace first. Remain silent. You decide it's best to stay silent and listen to the whole situation unfold. It feels like you're out of your depth here. Shall we begin? You are about to be judged by the court of New York City. Kadir, please tell us how you found the fledgling and what happened on your way here. Court? Prince? Is this some kind of secret society? Make-believe? Kadir, previously known as the Stranger. A trusted informant who has chosen to remain anonymous at this time tipped me off about the suspicious kindred appearing in one of our domains. Upon investigating, I found them gone, but this fledgling remained in their place. A reservation made in the private lounge of the patrician suggests. This one's sire had plenty of resources to spend. However, they are apparently also well connected. I lost track of them. Despite some reservations, she offered little resistance last night and cooperated on her way to the safe house. I was pleased to not have to force her compliance. Opening the door to the safe house tonight, I was greeted by a most disturbing sight of her drenched in regurgitated blood. Apparently, the bagged supply we kept in the fridge was not to her liking. The remark elicits a contemptuous chuckle from one of the gathered guests as they note the remains of the blood on your skirt. It was not an elegant sight. That hardly matters, I suppose. Moving on. We had a quick chat, but wishing to appear here post-haste, I urged her to join me. She did without a struggle. A pleasant departure from my usual routine, I must say. During our drive here, she showed me her fangs, metaphorically speaking, posturing as if we were equals, insulting me, when it didn't work. I refrained from causing her physical harm, but I expect her ego might still be a bit bruised. He looks at you and flashes a nasty smile. The story ends with us arriving at Elysium tonight. All eyes are on you again. You take a special interest in one of the faces. It's a beautiful woman with curly, almost blood-red hair and a dress to match. You see her whispering to some bespectacled man with an absent look on his face. Who is she? You wonder. Thank you, Kadir. I take note of this fledgling's behavior, and I will take it in consideration later. She turns her attention to you. First, there is a matter of your sire. The person who brought you here, Kadir, picked you up from last night. Kadir picked you up from last night. Who were they? A handsome businessman? An entrepreneur, acquaintance of my boss, I think. Good looking, pale blue eyes, some gray in his hair. Charming. Abusive. Cold son of a bitch. You feel tired and angry. This whole situation, spending the day in some underground parking lot, having to hear the looks of a room full of strangers. It's almost too much to take a stride. There's no reason you should take it all in stride. But you do. Because if there's one thing your professional career has taught you, it's that. All because of the asshole. Whoever he was, he never even gave you a name, or a card, or nothing. Well, Kadir, does that sound familiar? No, it does not. Or at least, not familiar enough. I will continue the search after we're done here. He talked to somebody at the restaurant. That man, he talked to somebody at the restaurant before he left. I can't remember what he said, but he wasn't alone. Maybe that's a lead you can follow? Did he know? That is interesting. I do hope the proprietor won't stay mad at us for losing one of his staff. It's almost like he knows the waiter's fate. It's still bothering you, and takes pleasure in pointing it out. Thank you for your observation. I will investigate it later. What shall I do with the fledgling, my prince? What is your recommendation, my sheriff? The traditions are clear. Thou shalt only sire another with the permission of thine elder. If thou createst another without thine elder's leave, both thou and the progeny shall be slain. I am ready to fulfill my duty. Stay your hand from a moment longer, Kadir. I wish to consult my counsel on this. Make sure everyone is in agreement. Of course. He seems strangely relieved. The prince leaves the main showroom, and a handful of people follow her out. You're about to ask this, Kadir, what all that talk of traditions and councils was. Then the red-haired woman approaches the two of you. Sophie! Sheriff, I was wondering if I could have a word with the fledgling. For what? She lowers her voice in response. Come now, Kadir. We all know what the verdict is going to be. Let me speak to them. You might not have to string your hands tonight after all. Her words grab his attention. Her face is hard to read. It's like several emotions are struggling for domination. Anger, sadness, hope, gratitude, resolve. I'll get my sword. Let's kind of alter this so you guys are a little more involved. Let's see. Let me hide this. And let's adjust this camera a little bit. It doesn't seem like much is up here. Wow. There we go. I'll go get my sword. He steps out the room the way you came. I left in the showroom with the woman in the red dress. She takes you aside, and the eyes of the remaining guests follow you. Well then, fledgling, you are in quite the pickle. Maybe you'll tell me what the hell this is? Tell me you're here to explain what the hell is going on. I am. Last night. Wait, what? Oh yes, I'm aware of how ridiculous that sounds. It's the reason why we have these nicer words for it. Kindred, being embraced, having a sire, the fact remains. The beings called vampires, you're looking at them. They're us. You glance around. Some of the guests are still occasionally looking at you, commenting on you in hushed tones. Many of the patrons are pale, really pale. Most hold glasses of wine. No, not wine. It's not the right thickness. It's not the right color either. You're trying to come up with something sensible to say, but you're drawing a blank. It makes a morbid kind of sense. You drank blood last night. There's no denying it. Your breathing has not returned. Your heart remains still. A vampire. Two voices in your head start battling for supremacy. One of them slowly begins to put everything that is happening since yesterday together, coming to the conclusion that no matter how insane it might seem, but what she's saying makes sense. The other voice just keeps saying, what the fuck, on repeat. You're surprised. This is often how it plays out by design. Kadir deliberately keeping you in the dark. And all, we do nothing, you will be cut down. As sure as day follows night. But I'm here to offer you a chance, a way out. Under one condition. I will take you under my wing, if your life will be in a good mood tonight, and Kadir's compliments about your behavior won't influence her judgment. This society values docility. She might agree to this, but only if you swear fealty to me. I'm not making this offer lightly. As your patron, I will take responsibility for you. Your actions will reflect on me. If they reflect negatively, well, I will make sure you face the consequences. What happens if I agree? Suppose I say yes. What happens then? You survive, hopefully. Or not, depending on the prince's whim. I'm giving you a chance, not a guarantee. But if you take me as your patron, I will be your guide in this new reality. And you will assist me like a child would a sire. Steps and hushed voices can be heard from the side room. It seems the prince and her council are returning to the showroom. Kadir appears from downstairs as well and starts walking towards you. When you hear the verdict as to be spared, I will intervene. ask to be spared, I will intervene. Remember my condition. She flashes a heart-melting smile towards Kadir, who does not smile back. The sheriff's immaculate suit is now complemented by a curved, oriental-looking metal scabbard, fastened with a colorful sash around his waist. It would look vaguely ridiculous if it wasn't surprisingly intimidating. First and foremost, Kadir takes his place next to you, and observation as the prince takes center stage again. Loyal kindred of New York City Camarilla gathered here tonight. I have made my decision regarding the fledgling. Their behavior since being embraced has been disagreeable, and that does not bode well for them becoming a valuable member of our society. You are all keenly aware that these nights we need to close our ranks and trust the wisdom of our elders and their traditions more than ever before. As our trusted sheriff pointed out, there can be only one course of action. Although I acknowledge some of my counsel's divergent opinions on this, she takes a look specifically at one member who left the room before. A somewhat plainly dressed, shy-looking man whose skin has a somewhat healthier tone. He bows his head in indifference. I hold the final authority over the fledgling's fate, and I declare that while their embrace might be the sire's responsibility, in their absence, it is the progeny that shall be punished. The sentence is final death, to be resolved presently. Kadir, you hear this scraping sound and see the sheriff has unsheathed his curved sword. It is beautifully detailed blade. In fact, it must be worth a small fortune. Its apparent sharpness makes you freeze up. 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Is quite mumble, audible to nobody. Is audible to nobody but you. As his eyes meet yours, you note just a hint of sadness in his countenance. One that quickly vanishes to give way to a grin of determination. And he's out to bat. You will not get another chance to speak up. Ask for mercy. You make your choice. Spare me, please. Don't make me beg. God damn it. Prince, if I may ask you to stay the sheriff's hand for a while longer. Kadir looked at the prince, awaiting her response. The sword is still hanging above you, threatening to fall at a moment's notice. Is there something you'd like to say, Miss Langley? Yes, if I may. At first the prince looks somewhat annoyed at the distraction, but she stays quiet for a while, measuring the mood of the room. The bored elite suddenly look at you with aroused interest, some of them dismayed at not seeing the bloodshed, but all intrigued by the unexpected twist. The prince nods. Well, let's hear it. Sophie takes a few steps forward. All eyes are on her now. But Kadir's heavy hand on your shoulder makes it clear you won't take advantage of the distraction. My prince, while the traditions are clear, I believe that the proper context should be observed in addition to the letter of the law. This fledgling is a burden, but with proper guidance, they could become an asset to our domain. And I understand you are volunteering to take your unruly child under your protection? Yes. I am willing to give them a chance and prove that the entire domain that they could adhere to our expectations. I will take nothing less than their full cooperation, naturally. Whispers can be heard again. An incredulous voice or two. A hushed, just behead the fucker. Some suppressed exclamations of surprise. Silence. I ask all of you to make a note of this moment. I might be persuaded to bend one tradition in this child's favor, but another will have to be enforced even more firmly in its stead. Until thy progeny has been released, thou shalt command them in all things. Their sins are thine to endure. Are you certain that's a responsibility you wish to shoulder, Miss Langley? I am willing to guide this fledgling and add a valuable ally to our sect. Any time of need. Yes. But I would like to receive the rights of destruction over them, if it pleases you. Remain silent. It's clear tensions are high. It feels surreal to listen to the strangers discussing your death, or second death apparently, and keeping silent. You decide it's for the best to let Sophie handle this alone, and not interject. You have no idea how to handle this. Eyes wide shut crowd. The prince looks at you, as if weighing your worth. She takes another good measure of the room before she speaks again. I shall grant what you ask. Let it be known. Sophie Langley of the Clan of the Rose will become the fledgling's patron. They shall be considered like sire and child. Miss Langley will take full responsibility for them. And I grant her rights of destruction if she sees fit to use it. Let my intentions be clear, however. If I am to turn a blind eye to one of the most important traditions of this occasion, I expect it to be beneficial to the Camarilla. Subsequently so. I hope you find this verdict satisfactory, Miss Langley. Of course, Prince. Thank you. Very well. She turns to you. What is your name, child? Mary, Prince. She nods. Welcome to the Camarilla, Mary. Now this evening proved to be more than eventful than I have anticipated. But with the fledgling's fate decided, I believe our meeting here can conclude. Thank you all for appearing on such short notice. Give my regards to those who couldn't make it. Kadir, a moment of your time before I let you return your duties. Of course, Prince. He shoots you a side glance that doesn't leave much space for interpretation. You will be watched. You will be judged. And it will need be. You will be punished. The two of them leave the gallery. Well, Mary, I think we've both already managed to significantly improve each other's evenings. But let's keep the ball rolling, shall we? I think we should have a toast to a new fruitful partnership. She raises her hand at one of the well-dressed concierge. Cheese. I've been saying this wrong the entire time. Who have now reappeared in the showroom, to refill the glasses. The conveniently handsome man approaches with a carafe of red liquid. Carafe of red liquid. The memory of throwing up in the safe house is still fresh in your mind. The idea that it could happen again is almost enough to reject the drink altogether, but there's no denying you want it. Need it. I remember what Kadir said about your misadventure before getting into the car. Some of us have more delicate palates than others. Try to take a small sip. Silvos plat. He pours it into two tall glasses. You can barely wait until he hands you the drink. Your attention is fully on it. The fact that it's blood, you are certain of it, doesn't faze you at this time. It's difficult to take just a sip, even though the taste is foul as before. You are tempted to down the whole glass in one go. You wait before taking a second taste. You're glad you did. Feeling like heartburn signals that you can't keep it down. You spit it back up in the glass. Sophia looks on, intrigued. I'm not surprised. NYC caterers have a very borderless ideas about what good blood tastes like. Well, you just need to keep trying. At Sophie's request, Concierge service. You 3 other variants of blood. The first 2 are as horrible and indigestible as before, both ending up back in the glasses within moments of tasting them. Before the 3rd try, you almost ready to throw the glass at the wall in frustration, but finally, this one is different. Instead of mud and decay, surprisingly rich bouquet of taste. You feel blissfully at ease. And Sophie takes notice. Ah, there it is. Jacob, would you kindly let us know who the donor was? Leave the bottle, please. The concierge nods and leaves again. You take another sip and another. You empty the glass. The dull feeling in your stomach and head starts subsiding. But you still want more. Sophie pours another glass and refills hers. She takes a sip. You have a curiously specific taste, Mary. Is it a clover? Is it the clover notes, the trace of caffeine, or the bitter-sweet aftertaste of melancholy? You taste nothing of the kind, but it doesn't matter. It's tasty. But not as delicious as it was last night. Not as intoxicating. It manages to silence the hunger somewhat, though. Drinking blood puts you at ease. It is a strange revelation. The man named Jacob comes back with a small card and leaves it with Sophie. She takes a quick look and passes it on to you. It's somebody's medical details. The office worker, male, Caucasian, 32 years old, blood type AB or H positive. Blue eyes, brown hair, no history of substance abuse, New Jersey native. Might one of these details be what makes the difference? Now that we have picked the right bouquet for your palate, those documents should be useful in identifying your exact taste. Should they be ORH positive or Joy Seaboys? But I believe you have more questions, no? Perhaps we should start with those related to sustenance. How will I know what I can drink? These difficulties of mine, how do I navigate that? How will I know what blood I can drink? It's a tricky question. I believe you will just have to trust your instincts on this. With time, you should be able to narrow down your particular preference. Blood that you reject is, of course, of no value to you, and it's horrible waste. No amount of it will ever sate your hunger completely, but every little sip counts. If you're frugal or forced By the circumstances, you can survive many nights without a single drink, but it's risky and will tempt the beast. That is part of our curse. It will take time to find the right balance. Tomorrow, I shall take you hunting, and we will explore this topic further. But you should be good for now. What will you expect from me, considering if I don't fucking pay attention? She fucking kills me. So now that I'm working for you, what are my responsibilities going to be like? It's a bit more complicated than that. Working for me, if I wished for a servant, there were easier ways to achieve that than risking the prince's chagrin at Elysium. I can see potential in you that would have been wasted if I hadn't spoken up. Not to mention, it would pain me to witness a senseless final death. It always had. That said, I will require that you defer to me in all things. But me being your mentor and superior also means I shall treat you as my loyal retainer and understudy. With me, you can go far. Without me and proper guidance, you would have to become a clear danger to the Masquerade. That is why, with your sire gone, the prince wanted you out of the picture too. The concierge returns, asks for permission to intrude, which Sophie gives with a polite smile, and leans in to whisper her ear, "You note the gallery is now almost empty." I'm being told the gallery is just about to close, but we still have quite a lot to discuss. We'll go to one of my apartments. My jalopy is waiting downstairs. Come. The smile she puts on could tip any negotiation toward her favor. Her words are like honey, and she makes it impossible to take her eyes off her. You are under her spell momentarily. Sophie leads you to a luxurious silver Rolls Royce and invites you to sit in the back. The chauffeur, a broad-shouldered, clean-shaven, middle-aged guy, starts driving immediately. Oh, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna get some food together. So far, I do enjoy the story, as I do enjoy stories of the Masquerade. There were obviously a couple of that we could have started out as. I felt that I focused on true and the what is it, Leombra, seem to be more my favorite. One, high society aristocrat. The other is a pulling back from extreme ways and perseverance of all struggles that borders them and pushes them into darkness. Those two attributes alone, and they're, of course, sub branches, I find far more entertaining. And I'm gonna give this a microwave, and we're just gonna take a quick little break to continue our story. So as of right now, we are currently in an intermission. We'll be back shortly. The continuation of the story. Alright. And it's La Sombra. Apologize. Sophie now. Where did we leave off? I believe I was starting to tell a bit more about our customs. You've heard the prince refer to our traditions. The chief amongst them is the Masquerade. As you might have gathered from our assembly at our niche gallery after closing time, our comings, goings, and doings tend to be somewhat secretive. We do not advertise our existence. We allow myths and modern fiction to morph and muddle the facts, so that the vast majority of our kin we remain bedtime stories and pop culture icons. Say, is that one television show about a vampire angel still popular? You shake your head in confusion. She shrugs and continues talking, looking a little bit more dejected than before. Our clandestine ways help us remain safe. Allow us to explain away the trip up to the rational mind of the 21st century humanity and dictate much of our interactions with mortals. Is your driver a vampire too? So, if it's such a secret, then I'm guessing your driver is a vampire too? Oh dear. Gregory here? No, not a vampire. Although he is a loyal servant and such trusted to not spill our secrets left and right, you will realize with time that such help is welcome. Gregory watches over me during the day hours. Sunburns are kind. That's why we take our rest. When it rises, it's more akin to being dead than asleep. As I'm sure you've already experienced. But not everything you've heard about vampires is true. Some more folk-related threats are just legends, or occasionally a minor nuance. Garlic, running water, even religious symbols don't repel us, unless the wilder is uniquely pure and godly. Stakes through the heart, though. That's something to avoid. They do not destroy, but they do paralyze. Well, that's just another reason to have somebody like trusty old Gregory making sure you're safe when you drift away. We have more enemies, and they often know their advantage lies in the daylight. so it's good to keep human friends. Am I right in thinking that having a human friend or two is necessary then? Or at least useful? In moderation. And best if they don't know your true nature. Also, I would say that subordinates are useful, but friends, I haven't had one of those for many years now. Our little sect supplies social interactions aplenty, but it doesn't really encourage friendship. Alliances of convenience to be broken in a whim. Yes. It's more like it long-term solidarity doesn't count in the Camarilla. But we are a very politicized organization by necessity. Loyalty is to your sire, to your prince, and to the sect. Friends must remain a distant priority as best for us to maintain the Masquerade and thrive as the years pass. With age comes authority. With comes influence and power. If you wish to reach for them, seems to be lost in thought and falls asleep, falls silent for a while, leaving you to ponder all the things you've learned tonight. You still feel absolutely unreal, but as piece after piece of the knowledge falls into place, the image becomes almost like an entirely logical jigsaw puzzle. However, you wouldn't believe on your own you've witnessed. Anything or many questions are your thoughts, but the one you keep returning to is what your place in this new reality should be. The car stops. You are in the city in front of an old but well renovated apartment building. We're here. Would you like to see your lodgings? My own apartment? I get my own apartment? That's neat. Consider it the first of many gifts that I am able to grant in exchange for your loyalty. Come upstairs. She leads you through a small hall, and the night guard who greets Miss Langley with a good evening, and you take the stairs up to the second floor. Safely opens the door to the room 209. Inside, there are all the amenities you could expect from a modern apartment, and some you wouldn't have deemed necessary. Just the previous night, including the thick blinds on the windows. The back room has a comfortable looking bed and a thick steel door with several sturdy looking locks, but no windows. Well, how do you like it? This is all very surreal. So, I don't know well enough, I guess, means I'm a little posh, but I could just be not wanting to this is fine, I suppose. This is great, thank you. Well enough, I guess. Won't impress anybody, but it'll do fine, I guess. It has finer qualities you might grow to accept. Make yourself at home. Tomorrow, I will take you hunting and discuss the blood in more details. Ooh. I'll let you get comfortable. The keys are by the television set. I will come to pick you up tomorrow night. Use the back room for rest. You can lock the doors just in case. Oh! It stings a bit when she leaves. It's like the room suddenly became a few shades dimmer. You inspect the kitchen, hoping to find something to drink. Nothing. No regular food either. Feels strange for Kadir. It feels strange that Kadir could be more thoughtful host than the new son. Even if only in that respect, you briefly wonder if the sheriff might have a hidden side. With nothing left to do, you lie on the couch with the TV playing in the background for company. Columbo reruns. Kojak reruns. President of the United States got himself into some serious trouble again. President of the United States got out of trouble again. Pundits start yelling over each other about things that seemed a little bit less insignificant just 2 days ago. You start drifting off, reflecting about another night of confusing conversations and worldview-shattering revelations. How many more before you fall? How many more before you finally understand what happened to you and what you're supposed to do now? You keep coming back to the new life you left behind. Keep coming back to the life you left behind. The people you should contact, the things you want to pick up from your apartment. You wonder when you'll have the chance for either. As you start to feel the same tiredness that made you drift into a cold sleep last night. You settle in the back room. The bed is comforting. The lack of windowless, the Windowless room. You leave the light bulb on. Looking at it, you realize it's the closest you'll ever come to staring at the sun on a breezy summer day again. A wave of melancholy overwhelms you. A few minutes later, your consciousness fades and you take the plunge into darkness again. Sinking, sinking, and sinking. Oh. Okay. What's happening here? Okay. Tutorial. Oh. Oh, there's some semblance of an actual game that's happening. Hunger is at the heart of vampire's existence. To ignore it is to tempt the beast to take over and its desire to feed. To overindulge in feeding may threaten the masquerade, while what humanity you have left. In Coteries of New York, having high hunger is indicated by a progressively thicker blood frame around the screen, like the one you see now. As your hunger grows, so does this indicator. Your hunger may increase when you call upon your vampiric powers, or when you need to mend your wounds after a fight. When your hunger reaches the maximum level, you will receive a warning after you complete a piece of story. Ignore it at your own peril. Some choices might only become visible if your hunger is high enough. Similarly, high hunger may block off some choices, as you will be able to see after pressing continue. Blocked off option. Continue. Okay. To decrease your hunger, you will need to feed. Whenever you see a feeding opportunity, you can take the risk to hunt and slake your hunger. Feeding opportunity. Okay. You will need to keep your hunger at bay if you are to uphold the masquerade and survive the nights that await you. Okay. Wow. We're getting into it. I hope these chips aren't bothering anybody. Like, I'm hungry and I wanted to play. I'm an eater, baby. I eat. You open your eyes. The bed is warm. The room is filled with artificial light from the ceiling. The solid metal door is closed. Normally, you'd stretch for a bit. On some mornings, you can probably throw the quilt over yourself and snooze for a bit longer. But that was before. The way you woke up Now, you are fully conscious. No grogginess, nothing weighing you down. Just the nagging need in the back of your head. Hunger, not as severe as last time, but unmistakably there. You get up and open the door to the main room. A digital clock on the TV shows you the time is 9:04 p.m. You walk over to the blinds and retract them cautiously. The only light coming in is NYC's artificial nighttime luminescence. So that's what your waking hours are going to look like from now. You miss the sunlight already. You're seriously considering just walking out of the apartment and figuring this all out by yourself, but when you come back to the memory of Qadir's exotic sword being raised in the gallery, maybe sticking around isn't that bad of an idea after all. You keep jumping channels for around half an hour, then switching the streaming service, almost as if the universe had a sense of irony. You catch True Blood in the flood of the recommendations. The doorbell rings. It's Sophie. Good evening, Mary. Slept well? Like a dead man. Curious wording, but not far from the truth, I suppose. No use in dwelling on it. I think you will agree with time. You made the right choice yesterday. I can teach you many things about yourself. Your blood, its desires, its power. We will begin tonight. You are hungry, yes? I'm sure you are. One kind always is. There's only one remedy, the blood. The drinks we had yesterday at Elysium are not the usual way you slake your thirst. So, tonight I will assist you in your first foray into hunting. You need to learn to sense the blood, or sense the kind of blood you desire, to understand how you can use your kind's power, or kind's vulnerabilities, to your advantage. I am ready to learn. I'm ready to learn. Well, I'm ready to learn. Let's get started. Such eagerness! Or is it just hunger making you impatient? You will find that drinking moderate amounts regularly will keep the hunger and your whispers of the beast away. You might think yourself monstrous, but there is a balance to be found here. The kiss gives the kind pleasure. You might remember this from your own embrace. Some can even become addicted to the sensation, but if you do it right, they tend to misremember your feeding. After all, vampires don't exist. They are myths, fairy tales, and pop culture mainstays, correct? She gives you a sly, knowingly smile. That is why the masquerade is so important, and even more crucial for you to feed. Or when you feed. How do I cover my tracks? Biting people leaves marks, right? And the victims remember your face? You shouldn't concern yourself with leaving marks. These are easy to conceal. You just need to bite carefully. And then lick the punctures close. That's all there is to it. As for being remembered, like I mentioned, the kiss is an static experience, so Kine can barely recall the details. And even when they do, the city is enormous. You could spend days on the streets and not see the same face twice. Use that to your advantage. Feeding from the same area repeatedly can be dangerous, but by branching out, you risk the ire of other kindred on whose domains you trespass. Lucky for you, NYC is more forgiving in this regard. New York is in somewhat of a unique position. Many of its neighborhoods remain contested or unclaimed. The reason for this is a lesson for another time, but keep the following in mind. Take opportunities to feed when they present themselves these upcoming nights, as long as you hunt cautiously and respect the masquerade at all times. You should be fine. To wit, I want you to join me for a trip tonight. Come downstairs. Gregory is waiting for us. The busy street fills the air with traffic noise. Pedestrians chatter, a mix of smells that disorient you momentarily. These warm bodies contain what you want, what you need. You catch yourself. Do you really just think these people as mere sources of blood? It takes a nudge from Sophie to break your train of thought. Her driver opens the door for her and then tips his hat to you, gesturing to get in the back of the car. The car casually joins a somewhat thinned New York traffic. It's still busy in a way. Only one of the biggest cities in the world can be. But compared to the daytime commute, it's a pleasant drive. You have the time to gather your thoughts and formulate new questions before it comes to a stop. You're among the tall skyscrapers that make up Manhattan's iconic skyline. Come, Mary. Park the car, Gregory will. Oh. Come, Mary. Park the car, Gregory. Will you? The driver just nods. Sophie gets out. You join her, and the two of you walk through the glass doors together. Then take up the elevator. You first notice an empty stage with the instruments of strings quartet still in the back. Then take a few dozen chairs in the front. The concert seeming concluded, the patrons all smartly dressed and posh are spread out all over the hall. Sophie strides confidently inside. Produces an invitation from her purse that she flashes in front of the security guard. You follow close and are let through without. Let's start easy. A social setting like this one would usually prove quite challenging to an inexperienced kindred, but consider this evening a small gift from your patron. Let's see. These motherfuckers are like super aristocratic. I like them. I'm hoping to produce a willing vessel. Just remember what I told you about taking small sips. This one I have a soft spot for. Now let's see here. Ah, there he is. She notices somebody in the crowd, flashes a heart-melting smile, and suddenly even you feel drawn to her. You haven't thought about it before, but it's laid clear before you in this moment. Sophie is beautiful. Just looking at her is a privilege. Just being with her makes you feel elated. Everyone in the crowd, but especially the man who's almost tripping over himself to reach her, clearly agrees. Edgar, I'm so happy to see you. How is your daughter? Is she with you? Oh, there she is. Julie, my girl, come here. Please, there is somebody I'd like you to meet. The young woman who walks across the hall can't be more than 19 years old. It's clear from her mismatched earrings and particularly faded purple hair dye that she doesn't fit in with this crowd. Julie, this is Mary. I think the two of you should get acquainted while I talk business with your dad. Awfully boring stuff, I assure you. I'm positive you'll like each other. The girl gives you a shy smile and nods towards the balcony. You follow. Somewhat unsure what it is exactly Sophie expects you to do. A secluded space from which the entire lobby is visible. All eyes on Sophie. They listen intently. then laugh when she does. Julie saves you the trouble of figuring out the next step. If you're with Sophie, then I guess you're, you know? She puts her wrist to her lips and gives herself a theatrical nip, then looks at you embarrassed, but also hopeful. Yeah, I do. Yes, I do. She takes off her jacket, unbuttons her sleeve, then rolls it up. You see a tattoo of a cat in an astronaut suit. One feline eye winking at you. There, just enjoy. A perfectly awkward smile and a blush. Drink from Julie. You take her forearm in your hand, and a quick look around to confirm nobody's watching. No security cameras cover this area. You bite down, gently. It's surreal. She's just given you her blood of her own volition. How is this possible? What about the Masquerade? You need to ask Sophie. You tear away from her. A brief convulsion shakes you. Her smell. It's her smell. It's not right. The temporary feeling of bliss the girl felt when you bit her is gone in an instant. She's disappointed, annoyed even. She looks at you, unsure of what's the matter. Come back, please, just have some more. Just a little bit more. The very thought makes you want to throw up. What little of her blood you've tasted. You shake your head. The girl sniffs, starts crying, wipes her face into her jacket sleeve, and walks down the stairs and into the hall. The crowd around Sophie disperses slowly, looking at her now. Only some residual awe hangs in the air. Yes, she's pretty. Maybe even beautiful. Sure, but not your type. What came over you before? You walk over to her. Edgar, dear, it was splendid talking to you. But we need to get going. Give Julie my best wishes. Come with me, Mary. Gregory is waiting for you out front. It's only in the car that Sophie addresses you. So how'd it go? Girl is... Oh no, what did I do? That's lost. I tried, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't stand the smell or the taste. Curious. I consider Julie's blood to have one of the most exquisite and unique bouquets in the city. And trust me, I have refined taste. She almost sounds like she's offended. Oh well. If at first you don't succeed, perhaps you need a change of pace. Time for the next stop. Training wheels off. This time, Gregory, Flushing Meadows, please. The driver takes the car over to the Williamsburg Bridge. You settle your thoughts. What did you do to those people back there? Those people back in the hallway, they were entranced. Even while I was under a spell. What was that? She smiles with satisfaction. That old trick? Just the blood doing my bidding. We all have our talents. Some of them come from the legacy we inherit from our sire. Others can be learned with experience. I can sway people or make them fear me. I see more of the world and in greater detail than some kindred. I can will my body to move with unparalleled precision and grace, and more. All of these skills make me who I am. They also help me hunt. Okay, so what are my talents? Time will tell. You need to discover them yourself. When we arrive, experiment. Give different things a try. Follow your instincts and intuition. It will guide the blood. Always keep the Masquerade in mind. It is all fine if you can disappear in plain sight or command animals with your mind, but save those overt talents for the right places and the right time. It only takes half an hour to reach the park. At this time of night, both you and Sophie leave the car, with Gregory left behind, again, to find a parking spot. And keep an eye on the car. Give me a second. Let me put this stuff away. Num nums. You gotta have the num nums, man. Sophie seems deep in thought. She takes in the surroundings with a dreamy gaze. The sky is surprisingly clear tonight. The stars just barely visible in the light polluted area of the city. I feel like having a snack myself. I'll be by the fountain. Go look for somebody to your liking. See what effects you can achieve with your blood. But only pick one victim. Just one. Then come back. Seeing how she seems not altogether you right now, you decide to leave Sophie to her own devices. And seek out your prey. From here, it looks like you have a few choices. Just taking a small stroll all around the park and finding an isolated jogger or someone like them just could work, but focusing on one area might work better. The New York State Pavilion might work as a secluded spot. There's a skate park nearby, and worst case scenario, there's bound to be some unfortunate wino around. Or maybe the tennis courts nearby. There's light coming from there, so somebody might still be playing a late night match. They won't be alone, but they might be tired and let their guard down. As these scenarios play out in your mind, you realize you're planning on how to assault a stranger in the middle of the night. It's a weird way to be. But the now familiar hunger promotes you to act. So, the decrepit pavilion skaters, tennis courts, you start walking. The park's many avenues must hold a good spot or two for predators like yourself. You pass 2 soccer fields and circle around where the Fountain of the Planets once awed visitors with its spectacle before coming across an opportunity. A woman with a small duffel bag on her arm is making her way through the park in a hurry. She doesn't seem to have noticed you yet. Focus her attention presence. You think back to what Sophia did in the hall. Now she managed to focus the attention of the entire gathering on her. That might be a tall order for you. A single person could be doable. For a moment, you're thinking an old guy in the hood would appear. Use the Force. It feels ridiculous. But then something stirs within you. There's a confidence there, an allure. That you might have had before, but one that's increased manifold by this time. You catch the woman's eye. She flashes an unsure smile, almost in spite of herself, as she passes you by. Wait, please. Wait, please. She's tense, gripping her eyes lock onto yours. The slight smile is there again. Yes? What is it? Almost intuitively, you close the distance between you. She can't look away. She's unprepared for what follows. In a swift move, you grab her and bite down. Her surprise resonates in your blood, hot, excited, fast-flowing. She tenses up, then relaxes. The duffel bag hits the ground. Bliss. Footsteps. You look over her. She drops to the ground, barely conscious. The hooded man is looking menacingly at you. What do you think you're doing? Barging in on my turf like this, Lick. Didn't mean to trespass. Sorry. I'm going. Too late for that, friendo. You want to leave here in one piece? You talk. Candidly. I know what you are. So you can shove that masquerade misdirection up your ass. Now, better tell me who you're with before my pot up and we beat it out of you. Well, Sophie and myself are Camarilla. That's broad. They might be Bruja. That's what it looks like. So, they too be Camarilla. And if he knows who I am, the names matter. Came here with Sophie Langley. She's my patron. Doesn't ring your bell? Sounds fancy though. He licks his lips, exposing his fangs, and looking at you ferociously. A nervous tick, or an attempt at intimidation. I wonder what would Callahan do to you if I brought you in, huh? Break your shins, leave you out to be kissed by the sun. Ooh, concrete shoots maybe. He's old school like that. Dominate him. Enough's enough. You won't be intimidated by this asshole. Leave. His conscience changes. His countenance changes. A cruel beast one moment, and a humble pup the next. He walks away, just like that. How did you do it? Not wishing to tempt fate any further, you return to the Unisphere, looking back over your shoulder to make sure you're not being followed. Two figures are visible near by the sculpture, a man and a woman, tangled in a passionate embrace. No, not exactly. It's Sophie. Feeding. But this whole scene is set up so it looks like a couple getting intimate in public. She puts it off like she's done times before. It occurs to you that she probably has. A man is unsure on his feet, and as she lets go of him, leading him towards a nearby bench, noticing you, she whispers something into his ear and leaves him. Her driver appears from behind a tree. Well, Mary, how'd it go? You're about to answer when the same figure as before emerges from one of the alleys. You look at the three. He looks at the three of you, and a predatory smile creeps into his lips. You're screwed, dumb fuck. You think you can mess with my head and get away with it? Think you'll be safe with your friends? Well, I have friends too. He makes a notion to shout, but two things happen at almost the exact same time. First, that feeling of warmth and beauty emanating from Sophie flares up again, entrancing both you and the hooded thug. His shout comes out as a weak, confused squeak. Second, Gregory produces a wooden stake from a holster under his jacket and slams it into the thug's chest. And just like that, in a few seconds, the posturing vampire is down on the ground, paralyzed. I see you made a friend, Mary. Curious choice of company, I would say. Who is he? He said this was his turf. He mentioned a Callahan. Names matter in the Masquerade, or in the Camarilla. He said something about presenting me to somebody named Callahan. Ever heard of him? She looks shocked for a split second, then recovers her regular countenance. Yes, I have heard this hoodlum is... Then, curious, Corona Park has not been claimed by any kindred I checked. Let's go to the car. We'll put him in the trunk and present him to Kadir tomorrow night. I'm sure he'll be delighted to make his unbound acquaintance. Gregory carries the staked vampire and dumps him into the car's trunk like a mannequin. It's a strange sight, and you're quite happy you're not in the poor fucker's shoes right now. It's almost surprising that you can get away with just casually throwing a stiff into your car and driving away, but then you remember that Sophie's been doing this for far longer than you have. Still nagging. Thought that anything you did tonight could have been recorded on CCTV camera or picked up by a rando with a half-decent smartphone streamed online fills you with dread. Hunting and using your abilities is dangerous business. It's clear that this whole being a vampire thing is about as many caveats as it has perks. You're taken out of your headspace. You're taken out of your headspace by Sophie's voice. I will pick you up tomorrow night. Same as tonight. I have some business to attend to at Elysium. I expect you to accompany me. Plus, our friend in the back needs to be properly introduced to Gadir and the prince. I'm sure he'll have some interesting things to say to the court. Her voice is cold, cruel, and nothing like the enchanting personality she showed at the gallery earlier tonight. Sophie is clearly a woman of many faces. I'd do the same thing in his place. Good riddance, the guys and assholes. We should figure out how this world works. What's going to happen to him? Well, the usual, I imagine. Interrogation by Kadir. Probably in the basement of the gallery. A quick trial with the prince in attendance if she's there tomorrow night. A swift execution as the verdict. This all sounds eerily familiar to you, and you can't help but feel a pang of guilt when you think about what awaits this guy tomorrow night. You haven't told me how your hunting went. Getting the hang of it? I would hope. I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah, I'll cope. I'm glad. She doesn't question you further. She seems distracted. Not all there. Her thoughts drift, and the car remains silent until you reach your apartment. We will pick you up tomorrow evening. Good night. Just like that, without further courtesy, Sophie leaves. Driven to her apartment by Gregory, with a body in the trunk, right in. Did you cross paths with situations like this in the past, unknowingly? What other secrets did you pass on the streets without knowing their true nature? Your haven is just as you left it hours ago. Although the sun won't come up for some time, you feel tired. You learned something new about yourself today, and it'll take time to process. You're not in the mood for television, and the few books on the shelves in the apartment are either in languages you don't speak or sound like boring reads. Nothing left to do but rest. You settle back in your room, lock the door. Moments of hesitation, but then a decision. This time you turn off the lights. You think back to Julie. How many people in this city know about this vampiric society? How many are willing accomplices in sustaining it? And the thug you met in the park, if he's not Camarilla, then what is he? Are there independent vampires? How does that work? More questions. You begin wondering if there's even going to be a night when you can start crossing them off the list instead of adding to it. You close your eyes. You sink into a now familiar void of nothingness. It greets you with open arms like an old friend. Okay, so I guess this is the time to go through the dictionary and all of this. So new Camarilla, fledglings, prince and hunger and all these things. I'm pretty sure these are self-explanatory. The Camarilla being a organization of vampires that maintain the Masquerade to blend in with society. A fledgling is a newly created vampire. A prince is a leader of a faction or province of vampires. The hunger, the beast, Elysia, the final death, the masquerade, a sire, the traditions, the kind, the sect, the sheriff, the kiss, the embrace. Okay. So this is all and then we have chat logs. So we have an entire log of this chapter. Okay, so for review if we need it. And that's if we're coming back in the future. This is really different because they didn't advertise it. They don't advertise this like a video game. They said this is an interactive novel, and I'm curious to think how long this novel is. And I'm assuming each time you rest, that is the start. That's the end of a new chapter and the start of a new one. I'm curious to see how long this is. You open your eyes. It's pitch dark here, the blackness of a coffin drifting in the abyss. Alright, the light. You grasp for the light switch, flip it. The familiar cramped room with a steel door and no windows comes into view. You emerge from the bedroom just like yesterday. This time, however, Sophie is waiting for you, comfortably seated in the sofa in your living room space, a book in her hand, the melancholy of resistance. The title's sure on brand. Good evening, Mary. Good evening, Sophie. I hope you rested well. Tonight will be quite eventful, I think. Come, we have an appointment. I've received word from Elysium. Would be called again tonight on the account of your unruly friend from Corona Park. This should be a great opportunity for you to mingle. She keeps talking as you walk down the stairs and get in the car. Gregory gives you a slight nod, a small smile, while opening the car door for Sophie. He starts the car. You take your seats in the back. Most of the Primogen Council is bound to be there. At least those who would usually attend. Probably some other important personalities. You do well to at least learn about. How should I carry myself when I'm inside? You never told me if there's any severe Viver kind of rules I would respect when talking to other vampires. Oh. Knowing that you're among your superiors is probably the most important. In our society, status comes from with age. Pardon my sincerity, but you are insignificant. Not even associating with me can make the fact that you've been kindred for barely a few nights be forgotten. So, know your place. Stay out of your superior's business and show the utmost respect, okay? Be polite, keep your mouth shut, and your ears open. Thanking the prince for sparing you, and maybe having a friendly chat with Kadir publicly might show your gratefulness for being a part of the Camarilla now. I would suggest you make it sincere. At any rate, you should behave yourself tonight. Remember what I told you about reflecting on me as your patron. I have a reputation to uphold in the court. Do not tarnish it. There it is. She might have saved you. She might be protecting and teaching you, but it's clear what she's really concerned about, her own interest. You step into an art hall with something of a bad memory. The last time you were here, your entire world had been turned upside down, and your existence nearly ended. But tonight there is very little outward hostility. Yes, Kadir gives you a look that's definitely intended to remind you of your place, but the prince, also in attendance, seems pleased to see you. Welcome, Sophie. Mary, did I get that right? Good evening to the both of you. I understand there is somebody else you wish to present to the court tonight? Yes, Prince. They will be joining us shortly. My assistant is retrieving them presently. This better be worth the prince's time, Langley. The prince gives Kadir a cold glance. Forgive the sheriff's harshness. He's in a particularly foul mood tonight. Something to do with Mary's begetter eluding of his grasp, I believe. Ouch. That must have hurt his ego. Even if his only reply is a crooked smile. The mention of your sire makes you grit your teeth in anger, asshole. Setting you with a curse that cut you off from your career, cheated you out of your ambitions, and offering little in return so far. You will remind yourself that defeatism will get you nowhere. Mindfulness, the here on out, the here and now. There is opportunity. You will make the most of it, if only to spite everyone who doubts your truth. The flaring up of whispers in the gallery hall breaks you out of your thoughts. Gregory enters the room. The jumpsuit-clad, inert vampire still staked in the shoulder. It was about to start. Sophie's driver places his charge in the middle of the room. He nods respectfully to Kadir. The sheriff approaches the vampire and removes the stake from his chest. The captive's eyes flicker to life and he starts looking around in disbelief. Like a cornered animal, he backs out on all fours. Keeps going in circles until he realizes he's trapped. Kadir steps on the man's chest and pins him to the floor. Why do we have... Who do we have? Why? Who? Ugh. Alright. Oh fuck. Oh shit. No, come on. Don't... Silence. The sheriff takes on an aura of utter dread. He appears as if he's a primal force of nature that's out to get you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do but shrivel in terror. The beast inside you shrinks, and you could swear it in unison with the instincts of some of the other guests here tonight. It's unlike anything you've experienced in his company during your most turbulent first night as a vampire. He really did go easy on you. All things considered, it seems like it takes all of the hoodlum's willpower to not crawl into a fetal position and start crying. No, please don't hurt me, man. Don't. You and me are going to have a little talk downstairs. At the prince's discretion. Please go ahead, my sheriff. You heard the prince. Get up. Let's go. He doesn't wait for a confirmation. He just grabs the man and drags him, kicking and screaming, out of the room. Conversations start all around you. Some whispered, some quite overt. Sophie looks somewhat bored of the whole affair. Her eyes wandering from art piece to art piece, clearly finding nothing to her particular liking. Kadir manage on his own. There might be more to him than meets the eye. Will Kadir manage to deal with him on his own? Oh, what a ridiculous notion. Of course he will. What is one cornered rat from an old, experienced predator? Excuse me. Sophie leaves your side and goes to the corner of the art gallery where a group of kindred, some seemingly pretty old-fashioned, gathered. A concierge offers you a drink, still warm. It smells nice. Just a little sip to start off. Splash over your plate, coating your tongue. Splash over your palate, coating your tongue, and the inside of your cheeks. Nourishment. You're left to your own device. You have a quick look around. The prince is currently talking to a dark-skinned woman that you recall seeing here those few nights ago. She has a cold but noble countenance to her. Her conversation to be a loud, shrill laughter, attention to the speckled man who you saw with Sophia on the night of your judgment. Rounds, chatting up different patrons. You feel somebody's eyes on you. A casually dressed, plain-looking man stands alone near a column, watching you. He turns his gaze sheepishly when he realizes you've noticed. You don't want to cause too much of a thing. Talking to the prince might be out of... Oh, no, I have to thank the prince. You approach the prince, trying to stay as respectful of her private as possible. She glances at you as you step forward, and her scrutinizing is mimicked by her companion. She addresses the dark-skinned woman before turning to you. Excuse me for just a moment, Samira. Yes, Mary, what is it? I wanted to give my thanks. I wish to thank you for sparing me, Prince. I realized it wasn't an easy decision to make, and I wanted to express my sincere appreciation. How thoughtful of you. She takes a long look at you before she continues. I didn't do it from kindness of my unbeating heart. You are an asset to Miss Langley, to the Camarilla, and to me. I believe I have made the right decision. Proof to me and the other kindred of this city that was so. And there might be more to your future nights than just survival and servitude. The dark-skinned woman looks impatiently at you and catches the prince's attention. Forgive me, That's all the time I can spare right now. We have some things to discuss with Samira still. Enjoy your night, Mary. Just bow and leave. You leave the two women to their conversation, which they get back to almost immediately after the prince turns to Samira. You notice Sophie mingling with other kindred, clearly in her element, and not to be disturbed. Kadir hasn't come back yet, so you can probably still find time for at least one conversation. The man with glasses that was talking to Sophie probably has more answers than the man who just kind of looked at you. But the man who just kind of looked at you might understand or be from the same clan as your sire. And we only get to pick one. Whatever happened to my sire and the curse that he gave upon me, that's being investigated by the Camarilla already. I might not have to devote more attention to that, but having a better understanding of where I presently stand with the interest of Sophie, maybe I should talk to the man with the glasses. The man notices your attention, but it takes a few minutes before he pauses his mingling long enough to actually approach him. He looks at you quizzically. Thomas Arturo. Interesting. Who is that your name? Pardon? Pardon? It's my name. I assumed you'd like to know. I assumed you'd like to know. I know you by name only, of course, Mary. Embraced just a few nights ago. Well. How is Undeath treating you? I'm beginning to like it. Oh, you know, I think I'm beginning to like it. Already? Fast learner you are. Good. Attitude to have. It'll take you places. He takes a moment to clean his glasses, completely ignoring you until you and puts them back on. I'm sorry, I got a bit distracted. You know, most of us don't need to wear these, right? I can see just fine without them, but it's a statement. The damn things keep catching specks of dust and other assorted shit. Though, they never stay clean for long. Sometimes I think they're more trouble than they're worth. What did you say? They look good on you. They look good on you, really. You bet they do. Alright. That was a nice chat, but I have I have to catch up with a few others tonight. Talk to you later. Ginny! Hey, Ginny! Doesn't even give you a chance to say goodbye. He's already off, grabbing 2 glasses off the concierge tray and handing one to a mustachioed man. Nearby. A loud exchange near the staircase grabs everyone's attention. Kadir is back, and the hoodlum is with him. Sheriff pushes his victim inside the room. The vampire that threatened you last night is a mess. That stupid hat is still inexplicably on his head, covering some of his ruined face in some welcome shadow. He's barely conscious, his shins broken. You think something protruding there, making the pant leg bulge. One arm seems twisted and tangled in a strange angle. Very little blood, surprisingly, but clearly a whole lot of hurt. Well, Kadir, did our guest cooperate? Tell the prince your name. It's Howard. And who do you run with, Howard? The Midnighters. An anarch. Coteries. An anarch Coteries. My prince, active for some time now, though from what I've been told, the name is about one legacy the group has kept over the years. I see. Come on. Hey, Prince, I didn't mean it. I didn't know I didn't. A loud crack. Like some of the guests audibly gasp as Kabir dislocate the man's jaw. A spray of blood creates something like an abstract art piece on the floor. This one is guilty of threatening a member of the Camarilla and claiming a domain without Prince's approval. That alone would be enough to pass for swift judgment, but he is also Anarch scum. My Prince. There can be only one verdict. Final death. Do your duty, Sheriff. Unless, of course, somebody would like to play at being a good Samaritan like our dear Miss Langley a few nights ago. The look of the prince serves you and Sophie in a cruel jest. Sophie takes it gracefully, smiling, and slipping her arm under yours in a strange public show of affection. Nobody says anything. The vampire named Howard jumps to his feet and makes for the window. Dominate Howard to stop. The moment you catch Howard's eyes, ordering him to come to you instinctively, Stop. He stops and looks at you with one eye. The other swollen, closed by Kadir's interrogation. A swift slash separates his head from his shoulders. The body slumps to the ground and starts decomposing in front of you. The sheriff's sword in hand gives you a nasty smile from behind. Where Howard used to stand. Well, Mary, your eagerness is laudable, if necessary. If unnecessary, that Howard fellow couldn't have hoped to escape his fate, not facing Kadir's expertise. However, I have made note of how this show of loyalty, on both your and your patron's account. I would like to thank Miss Langley for bringing this anarch thug I could mention. I assume all have been found. Oh shit. I assume all have found the verdict satisfactory. It's a rhetorical question, and everybody here knows it. Then I consider tonight's meeting concluded. Good night to all of you. She steps out of the room, and you see that many of the guests move to do the same. Sophie seems to be conversing with somebody, a serious-looking man in a trench coat. But about what transpired? You probably have the time to strike up a conversation of your own to Kadir Al-Almasi. Is still here, for one, but clearly getting ready to leave. Arturo is still here, chatting with the remaining attendants. For a moment, you think the man who was looking at you earlier left, but he's still here, keeping himself in his secluded corner. Doing what I am told to in this new environment. The sheriff's move seems to have improved, so you decide you won't get a better shot at saying your piece, but he is just sheathing his sword as you approach him. He notices you just before his face turns from a melancholic frown back to his regular predatory smirk. You seem to have caught him in a moment of reflection. What is it, Mary? I wanted to thank you for bringing me here. I wanted to thank you for bringing me here in one piece, for giving me a chance. An emotion creeps onto Kadir's face that you haven't seen the sheriff exhibit yet. Is that gratitude? It's fleeting. Only there's, for a moment, gone in the blink of an eye. It was trying on my nerves, and you are still far and away from proving that it was the right thing to do. So don't think that a few kind words will let you off the hook. Still, I have to admit, I was as surprised as the prince when you jumped at the opportunity to stop the Anarch from escaping. I was sure Valerie would have beat you to it. If there's nothing else, I'll be taking my leave. Can you tell me about Sophie? I was wondering if you could tell me something about Sophie. She talks a lot about the Camarilla and other things, but I barely know anything about her. Oh, I can tell you something about Sophie. Something she wouldn't want you to hear. Like the fact that she's manipulative and vindictive. But then again, which of us kindred aren't? You want to know more about Sophie's past? Ask her. She's unlikely to tell you the truth, though. I'm quite sure she never told me, despite our previous history. Ooh. Drama! That's what we do, fledgling. We exist for centuries, and we lie. To our families, our friends, our lovers, to our kindred, sires, and childer. To ourselves. He picks up the sword and turns toward the stairs. Good night. And watch yourself. You've messed up my batting average, so I'll be sure to keep a close eye on you. With that final threat, he leaves the gallery. It's right about when Sophie also ends her conversation and walks over to you. Interesting evening, wasn't it? Come, Gregory. Oh, come. Gregory is waiting downstairs. Him downstairs. Bernie Mac reference, sorry. She seems preoccupied with something. And not in a talkative mood. It's an awkward ride back to the city. This time you arrive at another building just 2 streets across from your apartment. She brings you upstairs, though a very nice lobby and a luxury-looking hall, into her domain. Please have a seat. I'll be right with you. You take in your surroundings. The apartment is like a gallery, an old-school smoking room that you've seen in some period piece once, and a Nouveau Riche living room, meticulously combined together. Apologies, old habits die hard. Clearly, some stick with you, even after death. She drags on her cigarette and breathes out. Breathes. How is she even doing this? Can you do that? Oh, yes. You might not know. It takes some practice, but you can keep smoking if you'd like. Other things, too. Experiment. You might surprise yourself. But I did you here to show off. This is where I rest these nights. The door in the back of the bedroom, similar to yours, I have and bodyguards in addition. Of course, I brought you here because I need you to trust me. When I told you before that I needed your best behavior to uphold my good standing in the court, I meant it. But that is not the whole story. I have your interest in mind, too. That's even why I'm trying to teach you how to navigate this new reality. But you need to trust me, or else this won't work. You can come here whenever you feel like asking me something. When you're in trouble too, though I hope that won't happen often. I would ask you to come here when you wake up tomorrow. I'll have something to discuss with you. I'll be here. Okay. I'll come over first thing tomorrow night. I appreciate that. That silence again. There is definitely something on Sophie's mind tonight. I'm eager to share it with you. Just yet. I'm leaving for another visit. Come downstairs with me. We'll give you a lift. A quick trip. We promise that you'll show up tomorrow. And some polite goodbyes later, you open the door to your haven and gather your own thoughts. It's exciting in a way. Being deep in secret society and its rules. Whatever Sophie has planned for you, it's bound to teach you more about this thing you have become. You sink into your vampiric sleep with just a sliver of hope. It's a welcome change. I think we're going to call that for today's episode of the interactive novel. The Coteries of New York. I will be back in tomorrow, and we will call this a ending for today, part 1.